stopped from coming in was fresh food. I mean, we could live without the fresh food. I mean, everyone's quality of life got instantly worse, but we could live without it. The most damaging part was when the radioactive isotopes stopped coming in. Radioactive isotopes, that's what we use in cancer screening.
Auto drive now disabled.
Now that stuff, it has a short half-life. Technetium used to save hundreds of thousands of lives just by screening for cancer, let alone testing for cancer. But that stuff has a half-life of 66 hours. As soon as those walls went up, there was just no time to bring it into the country, and that is when people started dying. And then the medicines. The thing is, there's loads of medicines that you just can't stockpile. There was a moment before it took place when actually there was some effort to try and stockpile some of the medicines. There was some things that could be done. For a lot of it, there was simply nothing that could be done. We had a major problem with drugs for schizophrenia. So we saw such an uptick in the kind of attacks that you saw in the street and people suffering on their own because they didn't have the mental health drugs, because those drugs simply couldn't be stockpiled. We eventually found the same thing with foods that weren't produced in the UK. And the trouble with the UK was we don't produce our own food. We never have. For hundreds of years, we produced under half of our own food. So as soon as those walls went up, we started having significant material problems in the country. I mean, Britain always told itself it had this national myth, right, that it would, because it got through the war, that it could go through any kind of hardship. I mean, that wasn't really the case. Actually, people during the war were far more frightened than some of this historical stuff makes out. Now, what did we see? People don't want to go through that stuff. They were desperate for the things that they had before, and they were scared. So they went to the black market. The same thing that always happens. And where did the growth of Clan Kelly come from? It came from people wanting things that they could previously get legitimately and could now only get through the black market, funneling funds towards criminality. And from there, we got to the situation we have now of this physical war between criminals and security that seems to dominate what's going on out there on the streets.
Nothing shakes people's faith in capitalism quite as much as when capitalism fails to deliver. Here's underground writer and analyst Alfie, The Politics of Poverty.
I think what we've come to now is a realisation that capitalism has essentially failed. I mean, the one key promise of capitalism that it makes to its citizens is that there will be surplus, that we will have plenty, and that's the whole logic for running society in this way, that people will have enough. And now, with this kind of huge shortages of everything, you're seeing that system collapse. It hasn't delivered on its primary promise. And I think we've really reached the situation where we have to do away with capitalism entirely. We're seeing a situation where there's shortages for the many, but for a few individuals, there's an elite who are not struggling and short of anything. So this is kind of fundamental inequality of a capitalist system, which is no longer producing the goods for most of us. Shortages are being used as well. I'm not saying that there isn't a real shortage. There possibly is real shortages, but shortages are being used as an excuse for those in power, those elites, to keep what they want and not give to the rest of us what we need. So the excuse that there's simply not enough to go around is the justification for maintaining a kind of power of the 1% and leaving the rest of us short.
So if you're starving hungry tonight, if your parents can't get their medicine and your brothers and sisters have to steal to eat, remember, it's all for the good of our
What's going on?
All countries.
Okay, what is going on?
The back center. You've been listening to Buccaneer with me. Keep spreading the word and keep spreading the truth. There's enough of everything out there for all of us.
Something about him. Knock it down.
Find out who is controlling that thing now!
Hello, how are you?
Drop your arm. That's not your face, man.
Stand down! Up you!
This area is being recorded by the GBB.
Stop resisting!
How it changed our lives.
Martin. I don't know who they're coming for next.
Attention! Illegal entry into London is a security risk. Do not compromise your safety or the safety of others. Report all illegal persons directly to the authorities.
This place has seen better days.
Watch it, Bagley.
Don't call me that. That's not my name.
Enough. Both of you. What a way to spoil a perfect evening. The concerto really was lovely, dear.
Can't believe we missed the cricket match for this.
Sport will come and go, son. But knowledge, creativity, intellect, those things will stay with you forever. Yeah, Bagley?
Brown noser. Ow!
An athletic competition? Evolutionarily, that's one level above 2-8, seeing you can stick the larger rock up their bum, and it was my favourite thing to do. Huh.
Stop fidgeting or say.
Well, don't you have a feisty look about you? Don't worry, I'm not coming on to you. Unless, of course, you're into it.
Fuck me, dead sec. All right, maybe you could help. Got myself in a bit of trouble.
I'll have a look at our schedule. What's wrong?
My mate just got nabbed by Albion. They're undocumented. They'll be shipped out any day now.
It's your lucky day. Fucking up Albion's plans is one of DedSec's specialities. We'll sort it out.
That's a bit simplistic. What happens next time they get scammed by some Albion knob? Nah, we need a fake passport. One of them top-quality biometric numbers that Clan Kelly sells.
All right. My friends and I will see what's what.
Thanks. You help me with this, and I'll do whatever you want. I'll repay my debts.
Jesus, I'm gone.
Bagley, some assistance, please.
Clan Kelly routinely moves their passport forgeries around the city. There should be a shipment in one of their delivery cars. I've also found the Albion facility where our prospect's undocumented friend is being detained.
Got it.
Failure to pay the fine may result in loss of license and all vehicles must be fully autonomous. Failure to comply with this is a crime.
Could you not stand so close, please?
Vicky, you sound like you absolutely love the Optic. Do you actually think that it's made our life any better?
Auto drive now enabled. It's definitely made things a lot easier. It's so simple to call someone now. All you have to do
Auto drive
is
now
choose
disabled.
who you want to chat to, and they're there, ready to talk. And browsing the web is so much easier. I remember when you used to have to sit down at a computer with an actual keyboard and mouse and type everything out. And my favourite feature is public transport. With the Optic, you can just walk straight onto the tube. It even acts as a passport. No longer do I have to dig around and try and find my old paper passport just to travel somewhere. Also, I thought that Optic's marketing strategy, making it free for people, was a stroke of genius.
Genius. Bloom was really calculated when it was doing that. It was pushing this draconian device on us at all. Sure, everybody flocked to it. There was free Wi-Fi and phone plans. That definitely helped, but it wasn't a case of this is a product that you need in your life.
Why do you hate it so much?
It was almost like the government and Bloom didn't even need to make the optic mandatory. Making it mandatory was only to get the last holdouts across the line. If free data didn't convince you, fines and arrests from the state for not having the optic would pretty much be enough.
I mean, what do you mean by privacy problems? No one really talks about that anymore.
They don't talk about it because we don't have any choice when it comes to the optic. Yes, it's convenient and mandatory, but everybody's forgotten what it really means. Here, you've got a whole company owning basically all the data about your life. Bloom can see everything that you can see. Nothing is private anymore. There are so many times when I don't want anyone to have a clue about where I am, who I'm chatting with, what I'm doing. It's not even dodgy stuff, but I just don't want anybody to blackmail me with this in the future by hacking it. And because of Bloom's contracts with the government, it isn't just Bloom that can see everything I do, it's the government. The UK as a state has become a complete surveillance paradise.
I think you're painting a bit of a bleak picture. It's not all that bad.
No, you're completely wrong on this. I don't want anybody tracking me wherever I'm going around London.
Well, in that case, you might be interested in some rumours I heard. Did you hear that some DedSec hackers have found a way to bypass the optics connection with Bloom?
Are they actually making it better or usable or actually friendly for anybody?
Well, word on the street is that they've been able to create an encrypted signal, which means that your world might have a chance of becoming a bit more private again, so you could go back and enjoy all the great things about optic without that fear of surveillance.
With the optic, privacy's dead.
While food contaminations happen from time to time, London has seen a sharp rise in E. coli, salmonella and listeria in recent years, and many are pointing to government cutbacks in food standards monitoring.
We're in luck. There's a crate of forged biometric passports in the boot of a delivery vehicle on the premises.
As amazing as Sky is, why wouldn't you want to take what you've got and actually augment it by working with technology, by improving your physical self, changing your body and the world around you, implementing more technology to extend your life and really sort of extend human capabilities?
You sound pretty much in love with Sky Larson, I have to say.
I can't comment on that, but I am a big fan of her work. She's been one of these people that has transformed the world around us, and just watching how her mind works from afar is pretty incredible, because some of what the technology she's introduced has changed how we all live our lives, and Bagley has been this really incredible assistance to humanity as a whole. Did I ever tell you that I actually interviewed Sky Larson once?
Really? I thought she never spoke to the media or anything.
So this was a long time ago, back in the day when she was a little bit more accessible, and she was one of these people that just had an amazing presence. You were inspired by her very being, and she was just incredibly talented and knowledgeable, and one of possibly the best living people that I've ever met.
I'm not sure you're being too objective there. I mean, I imagine she's not very likable as a person.
She obviously despises humanity in some ways. I think she believes that becoming data is preferable to being human. She's one of these people who's extremely methodical in everything that she does, and she does everything to perfection and really tries to change the world around her and make it a better place for us to live in.
If you say so.
The Bug, nibbling away on the rotting carcass of a once-free Britain.
Yum, yum.
Hello, Bugs. This is The Bug. I'm Andy. This is Alison. Today we're going to be pretending that everything is fine. Yeah, and back. Yeah, that was fun, wasn't it? That was as long as I could manage. It's a second and a half. A reality time now, however. And, well, finally, today, we're going to road test the latest update to the CSAY app, the government app that has brought the great British tradition of snitching on people you don't like back to the very heart of public life, the school playground. I'm going to tell a new threat that's got a whole new lease of life these days, thanks to CISA. And isn't Britain all the more fun because of it? No more grumbling about your neighbours playing their music too loud. Just simply report them to the state and have them, shall we say, involuntarily rehoused at Hotel Cass, the chain of hotels that was formerly known as the prison service. What was the slogan? Is it, if you see something, say something? Or if you think you might at some point see something, say something? Or if you haven't seen anything but don't like someone, say something anyway. Well, let's have a look at this new app, Alice. I'm sure you've got it on your phone. I mean, at first glance, well, the interface is lovely. It's so neatly designed. A simple button to snitch on someone. That's so much better than non-government informer apps like Stool Easy, Can Canary, or Narc Shark. I mean, look, I just need to geocache where the person I'm ratting on currently is. Let's call her, for the sake of argument, Alice.
Sorry, Andy, I'm dealing with...
And Finny.
Good. With this false passport, you can go re-document our undocumented friend.
Get the feeling I'm not wanted here.
That shit's got us.
And 20,000 great British pounds of the old money.
We'll report back in the next episode about whether or not we've been arrested and interned. I mean, I love this system, Alice. I mean, no more awkward, rumbling resentments with your neighbours, your colleagues, or what the heck, in from heading your family. You just dob them in and be done with it. But I guess it could backfire. I mean, the thing is with a family, inevitably parents and their children, they end up squabbling, and, you know, in today's Britain, your kids are going to dob you in, so you might as well get in there first and preemptively counter-dob them in with the authority. What's that number?
This is where our prospect's undocumented friend is being held.
Got it.
The hostage is in here. Let's get him out. out of here.
What was that sound?
Holy crap!
Brilliant bunch of wankers, aren't we?
Hold the fireworks. You've picked up a Clankelly tale, and from their comms chatter, it seems they're not happy about you stealing all those extremely valuable forged passports. Wonder why?
Shit.
Yes, well said. You know, I'm growing rather fond of our little chats. If you don't die in the next few minutes, maybe we can have another.
All recognition. It is also all reality. Thanks once again to Optic. According to Bloom, the Optic system is now the most secure it's ever been. And, well, of course, it's so convenient, Optic, isn't it? It saves us so much time and hassle trying to exist in a kind of realm of reality. I don't even need to bother with that. I mean, sure, the government has hacked into my soul and now basically monitors my every waking moment and thought. But at least I don't have to type, where's my nearest...
Hey, my friend just messaged me. That passport's going to keep them off Albion's radar for, like, ever. I can't thank you enough, man. You're a kind soul.
Best thing you could do is join DedSec. We could use him.
You kidding? Oh, yeah.
It's more secure than a teenage girl reading a women's magazine. It's more secure than a comedian with a drinking problem. It's more secure than a young man who's just got his first motorcycle license.
Finally, before we go today, bug off to the Prime Minister, who has once again FRO'd to who knows where this week. He sure as hell is not here in London. I remember back in the day, Alice, when our Prime Ministers were either incompetent or crooked, but not both at once. But actually, no, I can remember them being both at once. But incompetent, crooked, and not even in the country. That is one impressive triple whammy. I've had lions longer than his longest on British soil in this last year. It's this halfway house I can't stand. Either come back and do your job, or leave the planet entirely. I'm pretty sure there must be a spare space station knocking around where he can go and entertain himself for the rest of the time. Can we crowdfund it?
Just put some effort in. You can get over it.
Just hang in there, okay? Sometimes people think, but the words they use just get in the way. We're not here to talk. We're here to listen. Please call or text your local support hotline if you need help.
Always be where they need to be.
That's a piss-poor attempt at coded language, isn't it? It seems I was wrong. The man we're after isn't being hunted by Albion. He's planting evidence for them.
Let's have a chinwag with him. Bagley, get us an appointment, would you?
We'll never give up, Bug fans. This resistance will never die. And one day, we will again be free. Free from these technological chains, free to choose our own futures, free to live our own lives, free to waste our time watching people bake cakes and dance badly again. Those were the days. Over and out. Before we go, time for a quick bug off. I'm going to nominate this week Sky Larson here at the Bug. We are all in favour of strong, powerful women. And in many ways, Sky is the ultimate feminist icon, proving that women can do just as abominably awful things to this planet as men. I mean, overall, Alex, I think we're still ahead as men, but you lot are catching up. Fair play to you. You are listening to The Bug. The Bug, nibbling away on the rotting carcass of the once free Britain.
Yum, yum.
Hello, Resistance fans. You're listening to The Bug Podcast, the objective voice of objection for this most objectionable world. I am Andy, not my real name, so good luck finding me, Monsieur Bloom. My real name is, in fact, Andrew, and I live in, note this down, a deluded pseudo-reality of my own making, which is in fact the most densely populated place on Earth these days, overcrowded, some might say. Joining me, as always, my next-door neighbour in these Netherlands of nonsense. It's Alice.
Yes, indeed, it is Alice. Alice, who the bleep is Alice? I am not going to tell you that. But you can just sort of sense it from the timbre of my voice.
Let's spin the wheel and find out where we're getting today's news from. Are safe. We can all sleep easy in our well-bordered beds. 4,000 illegals.
Better watch yourself, mate.
Something I can do for you?
I understand you've been planting evidence on Albion's behalf. Explain yourself.
Not my choice, mate. They're holding something heavy over me. I have to do what they say.
What if that dirt just vanished? Like dust in the wind.
What do you mean? Just stroll in and wipe the data? Go on then, and good luck. Won't hold my breath, though. I can smell your foul breath.
If we did him a favour, he might be inclined to join us.
Albion stores sensitive data like this on air-gapped servers, so zeroing those hard drives will solve this problem and put an end to this whole evidence planting scheme.
Sounds good. Drop a pin on the map for me, would you?
Bullshit! You're rowing down the Thames. Just shave 10 seconds off your time and... Bags? Bags? Oh, shit. Get the nurse. He's having a seizure.
Seizure. Uncontrolled electrical activity in the brain. Could be epilepsy. Good thing I wasn't actually on the Thames.
Or however they get in. Here's a quick joke for you, Alice, about immigration. Here's the one about the woman who went into the immigration processing centre and was ever seen again.
No, Andy, I didn't hear that one.
Boom. Set up punchline. Classic. For those of you
Jesus Christ!
I will conclude by saying, out of all the things wrong with Britain today, when you think of all the health professionals we've stolen from overseas over the years, it's quite possible that all these people are just...
Yes, and certainly someone who came from the expanded fucking noise! Empire with still reaching out rather than folding in on itself. Scandal.
Yeah, but let's give credit to all the spies that haven't been in scandals and therefore might as well not exist.
Well, they've arrested those German spies in that SIRS crackdown on the... Legals in Hackney.
Auto drive now enabled.
I think that's a sad thing. I think I used to think of Germans as quite scary, but that was because I'd been watching World War II movies where the Germans all have English accents. They speak in that very, precise way. It's very, we have ways of making you talk. And now Germans all have that American accent where it's all like, oh, welcome to the party. We're having a really nice time. They're much friendlier Germans. Let them stay.
Well, that's all today, Bugsters. Remember, it's not as bad as it seems. Honestly. I hope. Until next time, bye-bye.
We shall eat up the beefsteaks. We shall pay up with our British pounds. We shall eat cows from the fields and anything that bleats. We shall drink up in pints. We shall never surrender.
Do you think you can conquer our Churchill mixed grill? Steak, gammon, sausages, kidneys and chops, weighed in pounds and paid for in pounds. Ye Olde Grill, come and conquer the Churchill.
This is London Calling. You're listening to me, Tash.
Auto drive now disabled.
Your source for what they don't want you to know. This time we're turning our focus back on the media to look at my former employer, the GBB. As we know, the broadcaster has been through a lot of changes since the Hassani government gave in to pressure from its corporate backers and privatised the corporation. Today, the GBB is a shadow of its former self. It's become a tool used by the government to circulate fake news and misinformation. So how did we get here? Where did it all go wrong? How can we tell when our national media has become state propaganda? Our experts speak on conditions of anonymity for their own safety. Here's disinformation and media expert Charles, who's seen free broadcasters built up by journalists and torn down by demagogues all over the world.
So before the media fragmented, there was this voice of authority that was trusted and worthy of trust. Then what we ended up with is a really commercial model where whether you're talking about an app on a smart device or whether you're talking about a broadcaster, the most important thing is to keep you in that environment for the longest amount of time possible.
Albion has security locked down, but you can bet it's got more holes in it than Julius Caesar. Hack the server to access the blackmail material they have on our friend. You can access the blackmail material Albion has on our friend from this server.
Kind of environment favors sensationalism, and so you got more sensational headlines and more sensational stories, and it didn't matter whether they were true or not. It just kept people in, and it kept them in.
Not a pirate.
They've noticed you. Security's on their way.
You! Stop!
Erase complete. I'll get our friend on the line while you get to safety. Well, crystal clear CCTV footage of a betting shop robbery. And there's our target holding the gun. Well, it's all wiped now. Albion will have to find someone else to plant their false evidence.
Terrific work, old boy. Break the good news to him, Bags. DedSec calling. That incriminating evidence mysteriously disappeared. Poor Albion. What will they use against you now?
Now you know what I did. Wish I'd never done it, but it's too late now, right? Is there something I can do to thank you?
In DedSec, the more the merrier. Care to join us?
Yeah. Yeah, let's do it.
I'm gonna rewatch.
Get your hands off me!
You want to get yourself killed?
You idiot!
Don't do anything you'll regret.
Really? No way. What? I want you to piss off. You shouldn't have that. Yep, of course. Oh, really? Of course. Oh. Is that a gun? That sounds good.
Just calm down. Look now, straighten up.
You've been listening to Buccaneer with me, Tash. We'll be back soon with more of what you'll never hear on the GBB. Keep listening, keep sharing, and keep resisting.
Auto drive now. Enabled.
This is London Calling. You're listening to Buccaneer, your pirate podcast source for what they don't want you to know. I'm Tash, and this time we're giving a special shout out from us to the boys and girls at the Signal and Intelligence Response Bureau, better known as SIRS. Why not? They're going to be listening anyway. They're listening to everything. But don't worry, we're not going to say anything bad about a massive, unaccountable spy organisation that uses its powers to stifle dissent and shut down free speech. Instead, we're going to look at how SIRS became so powerful. And as usual, we'll keep everyone's names and locations secret, so SIRS doesn't come looking for them. Ian was a veteran political writer and podcaster back in the days of pre-crisis Britain.
Is the world we're living in now fascist? Well, this is what fascism is. It is the complete and total control of the individual. The desire to basically say to the individual, nothing in your life matters. On an individual basis, you are now part of the whole, part of the nation, and the only meaning that you will find in your life is to become part of the nation. What is the nation? The nation doesn't mean anything, right? The nation is basically just encapsulated by the leader that takes over, that claims that he, has this sort of access to the soul of the country, to the soul of the people. He never does, it's just a myth, but that's what they go for. And on that basis, they take the right to control every aspect of your life and who you talk to.
It seems to me you're ready to fight the powers that be.
Dead sick, right? Good. You can give me an hand with something.
I'll have a look at our schedule. What's wrong?
All right, I'll just say it. I'm a smuggler for the Kellys. They used to ask for the regular stuff. Fags, booze, cheese. It was easy money. But suddenly, they want to have me moving weapons. Fucking guns and rifles. I'm not touching that crap.
Keep talking.
I want to leave, but it won't matter. They'll just find some other tosser to do the job for them. Think you could take out that arms shipment before the weapons hit the street? I can't have people's deaths on my conscience.
All right. My friends and I will see what's what.
Thank you. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
The weapons shipment is being prepared at one of Clan Kelly's hideouts. I'll send you the coordinates.
Of course. Easy peasy. Tar.
Within the rules a little bit, and try to achieve what it is that we hope to achieve that's good for us. And if you add all of that up, what you end up with is a big wall moving in a big way from a lot of little buttons.